Hey, hello guys, good morning to everyone, and welcome to IQ Civil Science Academy, a great coach transforms life. So, today we are going to cover a simple topic. The name of the topic is NGLV, Next Generation Launch Vehicle. Now, this topic, as such, is not that important for Prelims 2023, but yes, definitely by linking this topic to the launch vehicle program of ISRO, we will discuss PSLV, GSLV, GSLV Mk3 or LVM3. Now LVM3 is very important for your prelims 2023. They will definitely ask you a question on LVM3. So today's topic will be covered by me, Dr. Sachin Kadam, faculty at IQ Civil Science Academy, Guwahati. This is about our IQ Civil Science Academy. See, you can see that since 2018-19 we are helping Assam government in collaboration with Assam Administrative Staff College to train the meritorious students for UPSC and APSC examination. So you can be rest assured about the quality of the IQ Civil Science Academy teaching. This is our Google review, 4.9 star. That is what students gave to us on Google. So it shows ki yes, the quality and the teaching understanding comes conceptual understanding of IQ Civil Science Academy teachers is much better compared to other institutes in Guwahati. So this is our elite panel of faculties from Delhi that includes Sunil sir, Sachin sir, Anuj sir, Alok sir, Yogesh sir, Rizwan sir, Vikram sir and Nitin Kumar sir. So one by one, see, this is our YouTube channel. What you need to do, you need to like this video, share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is first thing. Second thing, what you need to do, we are starting our new batches from 19th of December, that is tomorrow. So if you are planning to go ahead for an offline coaching, so you can come to our Guwahati office and connect to our director Mr. Anuj Singh or admissions manager Vishal Singh or Anuradha Saikia and get your seat registered or booked so that you can get the best quality UPSC and APSC coaching in Guwahati itself. And suppose you are unable to join us in offline mode in Guwahati, then you can join us on online from anywhere in India. So this is all about IQ Civil Science Academy. Call on these numbers and register yourself as soon as possible. Now, before we go to the actual topic, let me tell you, I'm taking this class from Jammu. It's really cold here, and I'm recording this class in the morning at 8 a.m. So that's why I'm wearing this jacket, you can see. So hope you guys understand, and let's go ahead. So what is NGLV? If you are preparing for UPSC in since last 8 to 10 months, you must have heard about PSLV, GSLV, GSLV MK2, या GSLV MK3, or maybe SSLV if you are reading current affairs carefully. So this is also one of them, NGLV. Now this is operational, this is operational, this is operational. The first launch of SSLV took place but that failed, and now NGLV is under development. So NGLV is a type of launch vehicle. Now before I go ahead, remember this is rocket, and this rocket is used in space as well as in defense. If this rocket is carrying weapon, so you will use this rocket in defense and you will call this missile. And if this rocket is carrying satellite, then you will use this in space technology and you will call this launch vehicle. So here LV is for launch vehicle, launch vehicle, launch vehicle, launch vehicle and launch vehicle. But this launch vehicle, PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, this launch vehicle is used to launch satellites in polar orbit. So it is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. These two launch vehicles, that is Mk2 and Mk3, they are used to launch satellites in geosynchronous or geostationary orbit. So it is a geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. This launch vehicle is used to launch smaller satellites, so we call this small satellite launch vehicle. And we are introducing a brand new technology in this launch vehicle, which is yet to be developed and which is yet to be used. That's why it is next generation launch vehicle. Is that clear to everyone? So why the name NGLV? So ISRO is developing a rocket named NGLV, that is next generation launch vehicle, to replace its aging workhorse, the PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. ISRO to develop a Bharat Krishi satellite. Now this is not much important, just for your knowledge, that satellite can be used, number one, to study the growth pattern of crops, number two, to identify irrigation deficiencies, number three, to provide information that will help in pest control, and number four, verification of farm insurance claims. So these are the four things that can be done by using a remote sensing satellite. So Bharat Krishi satellite of ISRO will be a remote sensing satellite. यहाँ पे आपको दो फैक्ट पता चली from this slide. NGLV is the new generation launch vehicle and that will replace PSLV. This PSLV was first used in 1994. Since then till 2022, PSLV was launched for more than 53 times and PSLV has like sent close to 500 to 600 satellites in orbits in these 53 launches. So it is a aging workhorse of ISRO. So ISRO want to replace PSLV with NGLV. So let's see when it happens. And plus ISRO is also planning to send a Bharat Krishi satellite that will be used in agriculture. So here, this is the history of launch vehicles of ISRO. ISRO's first launch vehicle was SLV. So we call this first generation launch vehicle of ISRO. इसमें 4 stages थी and सारी की सारी stages solid थी. Then second generation launch vehicle of ISRO was ASLV. इसमें 5 stages थी और सारी की सारी solid थी. Then आता है third generation launch vehicle of ISRO. We call this PSLV. इसमें stages 4 है and all these 4 stages are solid, liquid, alternate solid, liquid. Then आता है fourth generation launch vehicle. We call this GSLV. इसमें 3 stages आती है, solid, liquid एंड क्रायोजेनिक. अब इस GSLV की दो वेरिएंट आते हैं, GSLV MK1 एंड GSLV MK2. एंड ये जो GSLV MK3 है, इसमें भी आपको 3 स्टेजेस मिलेगी, लेकिन दे आर नॉट लाइक GSLV MK1 और MK2. इंस्टेड दे हैव सॉलिड बूस्टर्स जो इस व्हीकल को लिफ्ट ऑफ करेंगे. दे हैव 4 लिक्विड स्टेज and they have cryogenic upper stage. So it is not simply कि solid stage, liquid stage and cryogenic stage और booster अलग नहीं. यहाँ पे boosters are solid, core stage is liquid and upper stage is cryogenic. That's why we say कि GSLV MK3 is the 5th generation launch vehicle of ISRO. और इसके बाद इन्होंने SSLV यूज किया बट दैट फेल्ड. अगर सक्सेसफुल हो जाता तो we would have called SSLV as 6th generation launch vehicle of ISRO, but as it failed तो अब हम इसे 6th generation नहीं कहेंगे. ओके, नाउ लेट्स सी कि कौन पहले आ जाता है, वेदर SSLV या NGLV. दैट विल बी द 6th generation launch vehicle of ISRO. So I hope you got the idea. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation. SLV, ASLV, PSLV, GSLV MK1 and GSLV MK2 and GSLV MK3. ये हो गए आपके 5 लॉन्च व्हीकल्स. इसमें से PSLV इज ऑपरेशनल, GSLV MK2 इज ऑपरेशनल, GSLV MK3 इसी को हम कहते हैं LVM3, इट इज ऑल्सो ऑपरेशनल. So there are 3 operational launch vehicles of ISRO currently. PSLV, GSLV Mk2 and LVM-3. So ISRO is also exploring the possibility of increasing civilian use of the country's indigenous satellite navigation system Navik. So remember, Navik is ISRO's or India's indigenously launched, indigenously developed navigation system like GPS of USA, GLONASS of Russia, Beidou of China, Galileo of European Union, Quasi-Zenith of Japan, and Korean navigation system of South Korea. Now, what exactly NGLV is? NGLV will use, this is a very important keyword, cryogenic technology which is both efficient and cost effective. So, as you know, SLV uses solid engine. ASLV also uses solid engine. PSLV uses solid as well as liquid engine. And GSLV uses solid, liquid and cryogenic engine. You know, अब अगर आप यहाँ देखोगे तो there is no launch vehicle of India which uses semi cryogenic engine. है क्या कोई? सेमी क्रायोजेनिक इंजन यूज करने वाली एक भी लॉन्च व्हीकल इंडिया के पास नहीं है. If this NGLV comes into existence, if it becomes operational, it will be India's first semi-cryogenic stage, and it will be the first launch vehicle of India that will use semi-cryogenic technology. So NGLV will use semi-cryogenic technology which is both efficient and cost effective. Now, why to use semi-cryogenic technology? Because it is efficient and cost effective. Now, this NGLV will be most probably reusable. अब मैंने ना आपको इसमें बताया नहीं था, बट अगर आप इसे देखोगे, these are the historical launch vehicles of ISRO, ये दो. Then PSLV, GSLV Mk2 and GSLV Mk3, these are operational launch vehicles of ISRO. ये मैंने आपको बताया था. देन इसरो के फ्यूचर लॉन्च व्हीकल्स भी है, उसमें एक आता है RLV, फिर आता है स्क्रैमजेट TD या स्क्रैमजेट इंजन वाला लॉन्च व्हीकल, फिर आता है SSLV. तो इसी RLV को अभी इसरो क्या कह रही है? NGLV, because NGLV will be reusable. Okay, so the new rocket would also be reusable. A reusable rocket will have a smaller payload than an expendable one, obviously. तो reusable में जो reusable होगा उसका payload carrying capacity कम होगा, और usable होगा या normal होगा उसका payload carrying capacity ज़्यादा होगा. जैसे देखो, SLV का payload carrying capacity है 40 kg, ASLV 150 kg, PSLV minimum 1400 kg and maximum 1800 kg. GSLV Mk2 की अगर हम बात करें, Mk2 इसकी मिनिमम पेलोड कैरिंग कैपेसिटी 2000 kg है एंड मैक्सिमम 5000 kg. एंड LVM-3, और उसी को आप GSLV Mk3 कहते हो, इसकी मैक्सिमम पेलोड कैरिंग कैपेसिटी है 10,000 kg. तो all these are expendable launch vehicles, but NGLV will be reusable as well as expendable. So if it is reusable, the payload will be 5000 kilogram. 5 tons means 5000 kilogram. And if it is expendable, it will go up to 10 tons here, 10,000 kg. Okay, so आगे चलते. Participation of the industry would ensure that capability is created outside ISRO. Now, very important, NGLV is not designed by ISRO, is not developed by ISRO, or will not be manufactured by ISRO. So, it will be created outside ISRO to build, operate and launch it on a commercial basis, and it will be developed by the private sector. So, अब इस स्लाइड से आपको क्या क्या याद रखना है? NGLV or new generation launch vehicle of ISRO will be reusable as well as expendable. Number 2, NGLV will use semi-cryogenic technology. Number 3, most probably the payload of NGLV will be minimum 5000 kg and maximum 10,000 kg. And last, NGLV will be designed, developed and operated by the private sector and not ISRO. Clear? ये NGLV पे अगर कोई भी क्वेश्चन आना है तो इट विल बी आस्क्ड फ्रॉम दिस सेक्शन. इस वाले पार्ट से आपको NGLV पे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. ओके, लेट्स गो अहेड. नाउ I already gave you the idea about the PSLV, but still अब हमारे स्लाइड्स में तो आप देख सकते हो PSLV is the third generation launch vehicle of India. Yes, SLV is the first generation, ASLV is the second generation, and PSLV is the third generation launch vehicle of India. It is the first Indian launch vehicle to be equipped with liquid stages. As I told you, there are 4 solid stages in SLV, there are 5 solid stages in ASLV, and PSLV is the first launch vehicle in which we introduced liquid stage for the very first time. It is a 4-stage launch vehicle. Here you can see with first and third stage using solid rocket, first and third stage using solid rocket motors, and second and fourth stages using liquid rocket engines. Okay, clear? आगे चलते हैं. PS4 is the uppermost stage of PSLV, comprising of 2 earth-storable liquid engines, not important. The third stage of PSLV is a solid rocket motor that provides the upper stage's high thrust after the atmospheric phase of the launch, not important. PSLV uses earth-storable rocket engine for its second stage known as, now very important, आपको प्रीलिम्स में पूछ सकते हैं व्हाट इज विकास इंजन. तो विकास इंजन इज द लिक्विड इंजन यूज्ड इन पीएसएलवी और जीएसएलवी. जो लिक्विड इंजन हम यूज कर रहे हैं ना इन पीएसएलवी, आपको पता है सॉलिड लिक्विड एंड सॉलिड लिक्विड, और जीएसएलवी में भी हमें पता है कि सॉलिड लिक्विड और क्रायोजेनिक. तो इसमें ये जो लिक्विड स्टेज है ना, इसमें आपको क्या मिलेगा, जो इंजन मिलेगा, वी कॉल दैट इंजन विकास इंजन. क्लियर? लेट्स गो अहेड. PSLV uses the S139 solid rocket motor that is augmented by 6 solid strap-on boosters. PSLV uses 6 solid rocket strap-on motors to augment the thrust provided by the first stage in PSLV G and PSLV XL. However, strap-ons are not used in core alone variant. तो यहाँ से आपको बस इतना याद रखना है, PSLV के variants है PSLV G, PSLV XL, PSLV CA. So these are the variants of PSLV. And what is the difference between them? Only difference is these two use boosters and PSLV CA do not use boosters. It has only 4 stages. अब आप बोलोगे सर बूस्टर क्या होते हैं? तो here you can see ये PSLV है ना, this is the first stage of PSLV, second stage of PSLV, third stage of PSLV, fourth stage of PSLV, and यहाँ पे payload होगा, that is satellite. ये जो आपको दिख रहे हैं ना, these 1 2 3 4 and 5, इन्हें हम कहते हैं boosters. Here you can see, इसमें एक भी बूस्टर है क्या? नहीं है. इसमें 2 बूस्टर्स है, इसमें 5 बूस्टर्स है, इसमें भी बूस्टर्स है, और इसमें तो बूस्टर स्टेज ही है. गॉट इट? सो ये बूस्टर्स ना PSLV CA में नहीं होते. PSLV का जो कोर अलोन वेरिएंट है ना, उसमें बूस्टर्स नहीं होते. Initially PSLV had a carrying capacity of 850 kg but has been enhanced to 1.9 ton. 1.9 ton मतलब approximately 900 kg. मैंने आपको 18 बोला था. तो एक्चुअली ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट ऑफ इसरो एक जगह पे कहती है 760 kg है, एक जगह पे कहती है 1860 kg है, न्यूज़पेपर कहता है 1900 kg है. तो हमने इन सबको एक साथ लाकर कहा कि 1800 kg है. ठीक है. देन it comes in the category of medium lift launchers. Now very important था. अब आपको क्या क्या पता है PSLV के बारे में? देखो, PSLV stages 4 कौन कौन सी है? सॉलिड लिक्विड सॉलिड लिक्विड. देन PSLV की हाईएस्ट पेलोड कैरिंग कैपेसिटी 2000 kg. PSLV कहाँ कहाँ पे सैटेलाइट लॉन्च कर सकता है? तो PSLV कैन लॉन्च सैटेलाइट्स इन GTO, geosynchronous transfer orbit. PSLV can launch satellites in LEO, low Earth orbit. PSLV can launch satellite in SSPO, सोलार सन सिंक्रोनस पोलर ऑर्बिट। ओके, ये ऑर्बिट्स है। अब ऑर्बिट्स क्या होती है, आई विल टीच यू समडे डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्बिट, बट अब यहाँ याद रखो, नियरली PSLV कैन लॉन्च सैटेलाइट्स इन एवरी ऑर्बिट। इवन PSLV has launched a satellite in lunar orbit, that is Chandrayaan 1. PSLV has launched a satellite in Mars orbit, that is MOM, Mars Orbiter mission of 2013-14. So all the operations of PSLV are controlled from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota, SDSC Sriharikota. Now this Sriharikota is in Andhra Pradesh. It is an island of the coast of Andhra Pradesh. एंड यहाँ पे एक सेंटर है जिसका नाम है सतीश धवन स्पेस सेंटर, फ्रॉम वेयर वी लॉन्च आवर सैटेलाइट्स। बिफोर वी गो टू द GSLV, ओके PSLV हो गया, आप GSLV में देखिए, जियो सिंक्रोनस सैटेलाइट लॉन्च व्हीकल। it is an expendable space launch vehicle designed, developed and operated by ISRO to launch satellites and other space objects like geosynchronous transfer of orbits. So remember, GSLV is mainly used to launch satellites in GTO, but it can also launch satellites in low Earth orbit. It can also launch satellites in SSPO. It can also launch satellites in geostationary orbit. It can also launch satellites in lunar orbit. It can also launch satellites in Mars orbit. मतलब सेम PSLV और GSLV की जो ऑर्बिट्स है ना, कि कौन से ऑर्बिट में वो सैटेलाइट लॉन्च कर सकते हैं, दे आर ऑल सेम, ओनली डिफरेंस इज payload carrying capacity of GSLV is highest is, अगर आप MK2 की बात कर रहे हो तो 5000 kg एंड PSLV की 2000 kg, दैट इज द ओनली डिफरेंस। प्लस स्टेजेस अलग अलग है, PSLV में 4 स्टेजेस है, सॉलिड लिक्विड सॉलिड लिक्विड। GSLV में 3 स्टेजेस है, सॉलिड लिक्विड एंड क्रायोजेनिक। ओके, so GSLV is tall and tallest among all other vehicles of ISRO. It is a 3-stage vehicle with a lift off mass of 420 tons. हमें ये lift off mass याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है। First stage of GSLV solid है, comprises ES-139 solid booster with 138 ton propellant and 4 liquid strap-on motors with 40 ton propellant. तो यहाँ पे GSLV MK2 में जो boosters है ना, वो liquid है एंड बूस्टर्स आर नॉट स्टेज। इसकी स्टेज है सॉलिड, बट इसमें बूस्टर यूज हुए हैं लिक्विड। देन सेकेंड स्टेज इज लिक्विड, इट इज अ लिक्विड इंजन कैरिंग 40 ton of liquid propellant, and third stage is indigenously built cryogenic upper stage. तो फर्स्ट सॉलिड स्टेज, सेकेंड लिक्विड स्टेज एंड थर्ड क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज, या CUS कहते हैं हम उसे। ठीक है, चलते हैं आगे। GSLV rockets using Russian cryogenic engine are designated as GSLV Mk1, while versions using indigenous cryogenic engine are designated as GSLV Mk2। तो अब देखो GSLV की ना 2 वेरिएंट आते हैं। Mk1, इसमें हमने यूज किया रशियन क्रायोजेनिक इंजन। GSLV Mk2, in this we are using Indian cryogenic engine, and LVM3, as it is not variant of GSLV, but we are also using cryogenic engine in LVM3, so it is also Indian cryogenic engine. Even LVM3 uses Indian cryogenic engine. Sometimes we call LVM3 as GSLV Mk3. So GSLV rockets using the Russian cryogenic stage are designated at GSLV Mk1, while versions using the indigenous cryogenic upper stage are designated at GSLV as GSLV Mk2. All GSLV launches have been conducted from SDSC Sriharikota, and GSLV has the capability to put a heavier payload than PSLV. I already told you. So this is all about GSLV. So see, PSLV can carry satellite up to a total weight of 2000 kg into space and reach up to an altitude of 600 to 900 km. GSLV can carry weight up to 5000 kg and reach up to 36,000 km. PSLV is designed mainly to deliver, this is very important, this is very important, PSLV is used to launch Earth observation satellites, yeah, we call them remote sensing satellites. Okay, whereas GSLV has been designed for launching communication satellite. We use GSLV to launch communication satellite. GSLV is used to launch communication satellites and PSLV is used to launch Earth observation satellites or remote sensing satellite. Is that clear to everyone? So, PSLV is designed mainly to deliver Earth observation or remote sensing satellites, whereas GSLV has been designed for launching communication satellites. GSLV delivers satellites into a higher elliptical orbit, that is GTO, and GEO, that is geosynchronous Earth orbit or geosynchronous transfer orbit. Mission Chandrayaan 2 was launched by GSLV Mk3. ओके, सो अब मैं आपको ना क्रक्स में बता देता हूँ व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वी स्टडी टिल नाउ। अब हमने क्या क्या पढ़ा है ये मैं एक बार आपको बता देता हूँ सो दैट वी विल गो अहेड। सो अब तक हमने पढ़ा कि वी विल कंपेयर पीएसएलवी एंड जीएसएलवी ओनली। पीएसएलवी स्टेजेस, जीएसएलवी MK2 एंड GSLV MK3 भी हम करेंगे, ठीक है। GSLV MK2 एंड GSLV MK3। तो GSLV MK2 में स्टेजेस 3, GSLV MK3 में स्टेजेस 3। देन इसमें कौन कौन सी यूज होती है, तो सॉलिड लिक्विड सॉलिड लिक्विड। MK2 में सॉलिड लिक्विड क्रायोजेनिक, MK3 में सॉलिड लिक्विड क्रायोजेनिक, बट solid is booster, liquid is core and cryogenic is upper stage, core stage। ओके, ये डिफरेंस है। और GSLV MK2 में तीनों की तीनों स्टेजेस है। देन PSLV की हाईएस्ट पेलोड कैरिंग कैपेसिटी 2000 kg, GSLV MK2 की हाईएस्ट पेलोड कैरिंग कैपेसिटी 5000 kg and GSLV MK3 की हाईएस्ट पेलोड कैरिंग कैपेसिटी 10,000 kg। Then PSLV is mainly used to launch Earth observation satellites or remote sensing satellite, while GSLV Mk2 as well as GSLV Mk3 are used to launch communication satellites. PSLV launches satellites in low Earth orbit. It launches satellites in geosynchronous transfer orbit, geostationary orbit, and many more. Same is for the MK2, same is for the MK3. PSLV has launched Chandrayaan 1, PSLV has launched Mars orbiter mission, and GSLV MK3 has launched Chandrayaan 2, and most probably GSLV MK3 will be used to launch your Gaganyaan mission as well. Okay, so this is about comparison between GSLV and PSLV या PSLV, GSLV MK2 and GSLV MK3, इनके बारे में ये कंपैरिजन हुआ। चलिए आप ये क्वेश्चन पढ़िए और इसका आंसर दीजिए। व्हाट विल बी द आंसर? व्हाट विल बी द आंसर? Yes, please. With reference to India's satellite launch vehicles, consider the following statements. This question was asked by UPSC in 2018. The first statement, second statement, and third statement. What you need to do? You need to tell which statement is correct or which statement is wrong. Okay? Hello. हाँ बोल बोल, क्लास चालू आहे रे माझा, तू शेतात गेला काय? हाँ बोलिए, आंसर कीजिए। विथ रेफरेंस टू इंडिया सैटेलाइट लॉन्च व्हीकल कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स। PSLV launch the satellites useful for Earth resource monitoring, whereas GSLV are designed mainly to launch communication satellite. It's correct ना? अभी अभी हमने देखा कि this statement is correct. Satellites launched by PSLV appear to remain permanently fixed in the same position in the sky as viewed from a particular location or on Earth. This is wrong. This is true about communication satellite. Communication satellite appear stationary from the Earth, and when they appear stationary, then only ground station can remain in their touch continuously. They can catch the signal continuously. Clear? So, and these communication satellites are launched by GSLV. So obviously second is wrong. GSLV MK3 is a 4 stage launch vehicle. अभी तो मैंने आपको बताया GSLV MK2 हो या 3 हो, दोनों के दोनों 3 स्टेज लॉन्च व्हीकल्स है. ओके, सो दे आर आस्किंग यू विच स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. तो आपका आंसर क्या आएगा? ए, वन ओनली, दिस इज द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. क्लियर? चलिए हम आगे. क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 हो गया, आंसर इज ए. अब इसके बाद वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट कार्बन डेटिंग. नाउ व्हाई दिस कार्बन डेटिंग वाज इन न्यूज? तो रीजन ये था कि वाराणसी कोर्ट में किसी ने प्ली दी थी कि ज्ञानवापी मॉस्क में जो स्ट्रक्चर मिला है, जो हिंदू साइड कहती है शिवलिंग है, मुस्लिम साइड कहती है फव्वारा है, तो किसी ने प्ली दिया था कि लेट्स डू साइंटिफिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन and let's do carbon dating. Okay, so that's why it is in news. Now remember, carbon dating is used to determine the age of organic material. मतलब लिविंग, कभी ना कभी वो मटेरियल लिविंग था और उसके बाद उसकी डेथ हो गई, तो उसका एज डिटरमाइन करना है तो वी यूज ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल. बट दिस स्ट्रक्चर इज मेड अप ऑफ रॉक ना, तो कार्बन डेटिंग इज नॉट पॉसिबल इन दैट केस. लेट्स सी व्हाट इट इज ऑल अबाउट. If carbon dating or ground penetrating radar is permitted and if any damage is caused to Shivlinga, then it would be a violation of the Supreme Court order to protect it, and it might also hurt the religious sentiment of the general public. That is the reason given by maybe court, but according to me the reason should be कि carbon dating cannot be performed if it is not organic material. So what is carbon dating? Carbon dating is done of living things. Carbon dating cannot be done of non-living things. So what is carbon dating? It is of living things, a widely used method to establish the age of organic materials, things that were once living, is carbon dating. Living things have carbon in them in various forms. The dating method is based on the fact that carbon-14, an isotope of carbon with an atomic mass of 14, is radioactive and it decays at a well-known rate. इसका सिंपल मतलब मैं बताता हूँ आपको. कार्बन की दो आइसोटोप है. कार्बन का एक आइसोटोप है 6 प्रोटॉन एंड 6 न्यूट्रॉन, तो ये हो गया कार्बन 12. देन 6 प्रोटॉन एंड 8 न्यूट्रॉन, तो ये हो गया कार्बन 14. ओके, ये दो आइसोटोप हो गए कार्बन के. अब ये जो दो आइसोटोप्स है, इसमें दिस कार्बन 14 इज रेडियो एक्टिव, एंड व्हेन अ मटेरियल इज रेडियो एक्टिव तो इट emits energy, and it emits energy in the form of radiation. And when it emits energy in the form of radiation, तो इसका मास क्या होता है? कम होने लगता है, राइट? अब ये कार्बन 14 जो एनर्जी इमिट करता है ना, तो उसने एनर्जी इमिट की, रुका, फिर एनर्जी इमिट की, रुका. तो ये जो ड्यूरेशन है ना, पहले एनर्जी इमिशन और सेकेंड एनर्जी इमिशन में, ये फिक्स्ड होता है. मतलब हर बार दो इमिशन के बीच में जो टाइम इंटरवल आएगा, दैट इज फिक्स्ड. सो दैट्स व्हाई कार्बन 14 कितने दिनों में कितना मास लूज करेगा, दैट वी नो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if you have 10 gram of carbon 14, so this carbon 14 will become 5 gram in 5700 years. 5700 साल में ये 10 ग्राम का क्या हो जाएगा? 5 ग्राम हो जाएगा, मतलब हाफ हो जाएगा, राइट? So that's why we can use carbon dating to determine the age of living things, because carbon is present in living things or organic material. So a widely used method to establish the age of organic materials, things that were once living. Living things have carbon in them in various forms. The dating method is based on the fact that carbon 14, an isotope of carbon with an atomic mass of 14, is radioactive and decays at a well-known rate. Got it? थोड़ा ये कॉम्प्लेक्स है, तो अभी इस क्लास में बताना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है. आई विल ट्राई कि मैं एक और क्लास ले लूँ जिसमें आपको कार्बन 14 अच्छे से बता सकूं. This is how it works. The most abundant isotope of carbon in the atmosphere is carbon 12. a very small amount of carbon 14 is also present. The ratio of carbon 14 to carbon 12 to carbon 14 in the atmosphere is almost static and known. तो अगर एक लिविंग बीइंग की डेथ होती है ना, तो हमें पता होता है कि उसमें कार्बन 12 और कार्बन 14 का रेशियो क्या होगा, अमाउंट नहीं है, रेशियो क्या होगा. On that basis of non-living things. Now, you cannot use carbon dating to determine the age of non-living things. Why is carbon dating not used to determine the age of non-living things? Because though extremely effective, carbon dating cannot be applied in all circumstances. It cannot be used to determine the age of non-living things like rocks. Also, the age of things that are more than 40 to 50,000 years old cannot be arrived at through carbon dating. जैसे देखो 10 ग्राम कार्बन 14 था, 5 ग्राम होने के लिए कितने साल लग गए? 5,700 साल. इस 5 ग्राम का 2.5 ग्राम होने के लिए कितने साल लगेंगे? और 5,700 साल. इस 2.5 ग्राम का 1.25 ग्राम होने के लिए कितने साल लगेंगे? और 5,700 साल. 1.25 ग्राम का 0.52.5 ग्राम होने के लिए और 5,700 साल. तो अगर आप ऐसे जाते जाओगे ना, तो 5 और 10,000, 15, 20, मतलब 40,000 साल आते आते तो वहां पे तो आपको कार्बन 14 मिलेगा ही नहीं ना. तो हाउ यू विल डिटरमाइन द एज ऑफ कार्बन, है ना. Also, the age of things that are more than 40 to 50,000 years old cannot be arrived at through carbon dating. This is because after 8 to 10 cycles of half-lives, the amount of carbon 14 becomes almost very small and is almost undetectable. That's why दो केस में हम कार्बन डेटिंग यूज नहीं कर सकते. इफ मटेरियल इज नॉट मेड अप ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर एंड इफ material is older than 40 to 50,000 years, then we cannot use carbon dating. Now, what are the uses of radiometric dating methods? Many of these involve elements with half-lives of billions of years, which enable scientists to reliably estimate the age of very old object. For example, जो यूरेनियम है ना, उसका हाफ लाइफ है 4.54 बिलियन ईयर्स. तो we can use uranium to determine the age of rock. So two commonly employed methods for dating rocks are potassium argon and uranium thorium lead dating. The radioactive isotope of potassium decays into argon and their ratios can give a clue about the age of rocks. So just remember as a fact that potassium argon dating can be used to determine the age of rock, and uranium and thorium have several radioactive isotopes and all of them decay into stable lead atom. So uranium, thorium, lead dating can be used to determine the age of rocks. So it is useful, this uranium dating or potassium dating is useful in studying buried objects or changes in topology, or to study the universe, or to study ice cores in polar regions. In some situations, carbon dating can be used indirectly as well. Okay, so there are many things about carbon dating. What you need to remember before I stop this carbon dating topic: number one, carbon dating is used to determine the age of fossil, and if you want to determine the age of a fossil, matlab organic matter that was once living. And uranium dating is used to determine the age of rocks. Yeah, potassium argon and uranium, thorium, and the third one lead dating is used to determine the age of rocks, that is non-living things. Okay, so this is all from my side, guys. This was IQ Civil Science Academy, a great coach transforms life. You can see our result in APSC 2020 examination. More than 28 successful students, out of them 7 got selected in ACS and 4 got selected in APS, Assam Police Service. Okay, so this is our Telegram channel. Just subscribe to this Telegram channel so that you will get the notes in PDF format. These are our numbers. Register for civil services program. Registration for civil services program are open. You can connect to these numbers and ensure that your seat gets booked. And like this video, share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you soon. Bye bye. Take care. Sayonara.